Good morning, dragons. Happy Monday. Today we are going to continue our measurement unit with area and perimeter, but today we're going to explore the idea of having missing side lengths. So when we're given a shape and we don't know what one of the measurements is, we're going to learn today how to figure that out. So throughout this video, we are going to do number 1 through 6 together. You can pause the video and try these problems on your own. But before we get started, let's go over what perimeter actually is. So the formula for perimeter is that we add up all the side lengths. So all the side lengths that you see, we add them together to find the perimeter. We don't use square units because this isn't area. But also we are measuring the outside of the shape. So that's what we need to keep in mind, that perimeter is the measurement of the outside of the shape, or the distance around the shape. Before we get started, the first question we need to ask is how many sides does the shape have? I need to determine the amount of side lengths it has. So I see that this shape in particular has 5 side lengths. One of these side lengths is unknown, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the known side lengths. I'm going to set up an equation that matches the problem. So I have 5 plus 6 plus 1 plus 5 plus question mark because I don't know what one of the side lengths is. I have to determine what my total perimeter is, or the total number of units, and in this case it is 20 units. So I need to figure out 20 plus what is 17. I could use an inverse operation for this, so I could use subtraction and do 20 minus 17 to know that my missing side length is 3 units. Alright, so if you've unpaused the video, you should have gone ahead and completed number 2. Number 2, I'm still searching for the perimeter, which means I need to determine the number of sides. So here I have a 4-sided figure, which we know is also a quadrilateral. And so I need to determine what that missing side length is. So I'm going to set up my equation. I have 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus question mark because I'm missing that one side length. You can use another variable if you want. And I know that it's going to equal 18 total units. So I have an equals 18. Then I'm going to start combining, so I could see that I make a 10 with 6 plus 4. So now I have 3 plus 10 plus question mark equals 18. I combine that 3 and 10 to get 13 plus question mark. I'm using an inverse operation to do 18 minus 13, and I get that the question mark equals 5. So my answer is 5 units. Number 3, I'm still trying to find the perimeter of the shape. This time I can determine the number of sides is 3 because it's a triangle. It has 3 sides. And so I'm going to try to find the missing length by combining and setting up an equation of 9 plus 18 plus my variable, which I use question mark, equals a total of 42 inches. I get that from the problem at the top. And so I'm going to combine that 9 and 18 to make 27, plus my variable equals 42. And I'm going to use an inverse operation to solve. So the inverse of addition is subtraction. So I have 42 minus 27 equals question mark. And I'm going to use a strategy that I learned when I was in 3rd grade, the adding on strategy. So I'm going to start at 27 and add 3 to get to 30. And then I'm going to add 12 to get to 42, and I know that 3 plus 12 is 15, so I know that my missing side length is equal to 15 inches. This is different. It's not just units. It gives us the units, so it's 15 inches. At number 4, I'm still finding the perimeter. I'm missing one side length, and so I have to determine what that side length is. So I'm going to start by counting how many sides I have. I have 5 sides, so I know that kind of shape is a pentagon. So I have 5 plus 13 plus 4 plus 10 plus whatever variable you want to use. I'm going to keep using question mark because that's what's given to me. And this is all going to equal 48 yards. And so I'm going to start combining my side lengths. So I have 5 and 13, which makes 18, 4 and 10, which makes 14, and I'm going to bring down my question mark, all still equaling 48, so 18 plus 14 equals, I know 8 and 4 make 12, and I regroup that 10 to make 32 plus question mark equals 48. 48 minus 32 equals question mark. So here I'm using standard algorithm to solve. I know 8 minus 2 is 6, and 40 minus 30 is 10, so I'm left with 16 yards. Again, we don't use square units when we measure perimeter. Number 5, we're finding the perimeter, so I'm underlining that so I know that I need to add up all the sides. So I have to determine how many sides I have, and I have 4, so it's a quadrilateral. And I'm missing only one side length, so I have 7 plus 15 plus 16 plus question mark will give me 50 centimeters total. That's my total perimeter. I'm going to combine 15 and 16 to make 31. 5 plus 6 is 11, and I regroup the 10, and then I have 3 10s, so I have 31, plus 7, plus question mark, equals 50. I know that 7 and 31 make 38, plus question mark, equals 50. I'm going to use inverse operations to solve this, so 50 minus 38, or you can use the add-on strategy, so I could do 38 plus 2 would get me to, not 50, but it would get me to 40. So, and then I can go from 40 plus 10 to get me to 50. So then when I combine those two totals, I get 12, so I know my question mark is equal to 12, but not 12 anything, it's 12 centimeters because that's the unit that is given to us. This one is a fun one to solve. We're still solving for perimeter, but we have a lot of similar sides. And so I can determine the amount of sides this shape has is 7, so it's a heptagon. So it's a 7-sided figure. You could do 10 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 10 equals question mark. That's a lot to write out. Or you can combine like numbers or the like terms. For instance, I have 7 and I have 7 4 times. So a way I could write that is 7 times 4. And I'm going to put that in parentheses, and then I'm going to add the other like terms or like units and do 10 times 2 because I have 10 twice. So I'm going to put those in parentheses as well. And I know that 7 times 4 is 28 plus 10 times 2, which is 20. And if I combine those together, I get 48 plus a side that I don't know, which is going to equal 56. So I'm going to rewrite this using inverse operation, and I'm going to do 56 minus 48 equals question mark. If you want to use the counting on strategy, you would start at 48 and add 2 to get to your next 10, which would be 50. And then you would add 6 to get to 56, and I know that 2 plus 6 is 8. So I know my question mark is equal to 8, but not just 8, it gives us the unit, so it's 8 centimeters. Now that we've done several together, I want you to do 7 and 8 on your own. I want you to try your best. I know that you can do this. Find what those missing side lengths are. Email me if you have any questions.